Do you want up to 100 Mbps of internet speed and a chance to win an iPad? Well, TM is offering you a discount of 20 ringgit off your monthly bill when you subscribe or upgrade to Unify Biz Plan. Apply now and you can win up to 2,700 ringgit in prizes. To participate, SMS BFM your name, IC number with the keyword TM to 016-201-9000. Contest ends 22nd May. Terms and conditions apply. TM. Business made easier.
Good morning, this is Frida Liu. It's Raise Your Game. Coaches and training providers wax lyrical about the life-transforming benefits of reading a self-help book or attending a motivational course. But is it all feel-good fluff or does it actually work? And if so, are the results short-lived? We speak to those who have tried and tested some of these concepts or courses to get insights and experience and effects of personal development. I've got Tasha Fusil here with me, and together with another gentleman called Alan Khaw, some people say. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do at BFM.
Hi everyone, I'm Alan, video producer here at BFM. What we do here is to complement the radio. So we put videos out on Facebook, on Twitter and YouTube, politics, news, current affairs, everything.
Right.
So all the amazing videos that you see on YouTube of who are some of the recent ones?
Arukanda.
Yeah, Arukanda. Yeah.
Nurul Izzah.
Actually, we've got the whole video team in the studio here at the moment. Joss and Jasmine, they're sitting here supporting him. Anyway, so tell us about, you signed up for a program called the Advanced Living Series, right?
Yes.
And this is something that you don't do. Right? And I want to talk a little bit about to both of you because like Tasha just probably attended her first personal development course. This is your first, but what prompted you to sign up?
I went for something that was called a Make a Difference Day. A friend invited me to this. It was to go and paint a school. So I was always keen to go and do more charity work, and so I went along. And it was in Orang Asli village. They'd built a school, and we were going there to paint it. And one moment that really stood out was when I was so tired. I remember exhausted. I was painting the whole day, and I went to get a drink. I went to the drink dispenser and I couldn't get the drink out. And then this child, one of the Orang Asli kids, came up and tipped the dispenser over to help me get the drink. I felt really, really touched. I mean, it was the child's feedback to me to say thank you in a way for coming all that way and helping to touch his life and to help with that school. So, I mean, that was the first encounter with the ALP. And then after that, I met my enroller and other friends, and we were talking about it, and they were annoyingly persistent and annoyingly positive and saying, oh, you should really go and do this, you really go and do this. And I was like, oh my God, I thought I'm positive. They're even more positive than I am. And then I thought, all right, what's the worst that could happen? Give it a try. I felt I was kind of a bit too comfortable in life. I felt that I needed something to give me a kick, and then I signed up.
So I know that prior to signing up for this course, you had to do a questionnaire, right? What were some of the insights upon doing the questionnaire?
I mean, one of the first parts in the questionnaire was that I had to rank 1 to 10 how I felt about relationships, career, family, and all these things. And I kept on ticking 5 or 6.
For everything?
For most things. 5, 6, 7. And so it was at no point was it a 10 or a 9. And then I started to realize, why am I not a 9 or a 10? Why aren't I as happy, or why am I not content? And so I questioned myself, and that's why I signed up.
Okay.
Was that something you'd ever given thought to before you did the questionnaire? Sort of where you were in life, how content you were? I
think I was in the comfort zone and wasn't sure how to get out of it. I think that's something to admit, definitely. Sometimes I would go to work and I'd be in a traffic jam and I'd get quite annoyed with the traffic jam, and I would wonder why would I let something like that affect me when it's a traffic jam. What's the point in getting angry or getting annoyed about it? And so after doing the questionnaire, I thought, is it because I'm not satisfied, or perhaps am I just being complacent? I mean, I ask all these questions.
Right. So both of you, very new in personal development courses. What was your view of these sort of things prior to attending this?
I mean, there are lots of books, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Books like that are telling you the books are frankly collecting dust on the shelf.
Well, you bought them.
Either I bought them or Dad said, go and read this. And then I'll be like, okay, sure. And so it's been on the shelf and collecting dust. And it looks pretty good with the dust, actually. and so I've never been a believer or a practitioner. And I think what's been good about the course is it's experiential. No matter what people tell you to improve on, you just hear it. And then you just take note of it and and whether you take it on board or not, it's up to you or up to me. But actually experiencing and going through the exercises and things like that, then you get to feel it. And then you feel it, then you learn it, and then you practice it in everyday life.
So the what you did with the Orang Asli home was part of that experiential.
The Orang Asli one was part of
Another person's.
the person who enrolled me. That was her training.
Right.
So that was their objective, to go and build that Orang Asli home. So I was invited just to come along and help out. And so that was the first moment that I ever saw ALP in action.
Okay. So with you, Tasha, you've done Raise Your Game, producing it, and she's shaking her head. And of course, you went for a course and all that. What's your view of all this? I remember in the early days, well, not early days, last year you do it. I should have become a psychologist. I remember you saying that.
I think I said that only because it's fascinating to get into the minds of people. Doing this show makes me realize that everybody really perceives the world in a completely different way. So I had a lot of assumptions, a lot of thoughts about personal development that were unfair, I think.
Your map of the world.
Yeah, it was my map of the world. So I think it was from seeing, Tony Robbins. If you look at personal development, especially when it's done at such a mass scale, it can get a little bit cheesy. Yeah, so that was my perception of it. And then my perception also was that only the truly successful, truly motivated people didn't need personal development. But I think the more I learned about it, the more I realized that's not true.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So so you chose this course because you felt that it will cover most things in your life. You'll look at all these things in your life, different aspects of your life.
Absolutely. I think I didn't. I've realised a lot of things that I should have done maybe a decade ago.
Yeah.
And hindsight, why regret not doing it when I'm 50 or 60 years old? When it's too late, why not go ahead and do it now and take action now?
You know what's really interesting as well? I mean, that you're doing this course, and you think that because you just joined us the beginning of this year, right? And you think that by leaving your previous company to come to this company, it would meet your career needs, but yet at the same time, not really. So it's not about changing the job that meets your career needs. It's something a little deeper than that.
I think we are always told to suppress our emotions. We're always taught to. If we feel sad, if we feel angry, especially in the workplace, even at home, we've got to tolerate each other.
Annoying colleagues that you've got now.
Oh, totally, totally.
Stop talking about Tasha that way.
Oh, sorry, Tasha.
Alan loves me.
So, no, I think we're told to suppress our emotions so much, and we keep it all in, and we're like a balloon. Right. We just keep on adding more and more and more and more, and then eventually the balloon will explode, and that's very, very unhealthy. And I've been guilty of doing that in the past. I mean, not getting angry, but just making a sudden rash decision that surprises everybody because of all these things building up.
But isn't that also good if you think about it? How long have you been working? 7-8 years? 7-8 years. So, I mean, you probably need to go through that phase. So people always say, I wish I did this 10 years ago, but probably you'd have to experience that to appreciate doing a course now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's true.
So we'll talk a little bit about, what happened after the course, together with Alan Khaw and Tasha Fusil. Stay tuned to Raise Your Game, BFM 89.9.
Balming frustrated minds, BFM 89.9.
It's Raise Your Game. Good morning. Frida Liu here, and I've got everybody from BFM in the studio here with me. Tasha Fusil and Alan Khaw. We're talking about how, personal development courses, we do have skeptics and someone who have just gone through a personal development course, the Advanced Living series, of course, Alan, and sharing his experience with us. Maybe you can tell us a little bit, Alan, about the program in a nutshell.
Excuse the pun. It's about raising your game. But
Good one.
Bit of product placement, not
yeah.
Sure,
Well,
go on.
yeah. It's about getting out of the comfort zone and mediocrity. In all aspects of life, family, friends, work. It's about embracing your past and using it as a springboard rather than letting it hold you back, your past hold you back. You use it to spring you forward to become better and to do better. And also, I mean, to be grateful, to not take life for granted and not have any regrets. I mean, I'm glad that I can drink water in the morning, can have a shower in the morning. Just being grateful for these kind of things.
So, and what were some of the highlights and lowlights from the course?
This is a very, very good thing that's done in the training. It's about sharing. So you share in large groups, 20 people, 18 people, and then you share in small groups of around 6 people, and then you have a buddy. So you pair up. So you just share with each other. You just share and share and share. If something's troubling you, you just share it. I mean, like going back to what I said earlier, we always suppress and we always keep it inside. So just letting it all out, and then you just feel better.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot better after that.
Right. So, I mean, one of the things with these courses is that it does cost a fair bit of money, right? What's your opinion when people say, it's a lot of money, I don't want to invest in this?
I was one of those people. But I think if you want to find a method, I mean, it will work for some people and it won't work for some people. But why not give it a shot? If you can live life happier and more contented and challenge yourself to go and do better, why not? Why not? I mean, it may look like a big sum at the moment, but in the future, when you achieve more and get more in life, perhaps that small sum of money will be minimal in comparison to what you're investing.
Okay, so I just want to know the outcome after, right? Because when you were filling up the questionnaire prior to starting, there were 12 areas that they looked at, right? So just want to see what has changed after. What has transpired for work and career after the course, or things that you plan to do?
I've always been this incredibly logical person. Everything goes through logic. The heart is purely just to pump blood around the body and nothing else. So all decisions would go, you know, in the past via the brain all the time.
Okay.
Somebody would say something or something would happen, and I would overanalyze. I would logic would just come into. No problem will become a problem through overthinking and overanalyzing. Right. Now I've managed to find the heart. The heart says something. Just go for it. Don't question. Just go. It's usually the first answer is the right answer.
How are you looking at finances now?
In terms of what I've experienced after. Another thing was actually learning to say sorry. I rarely used to do it, and now I realise I've made some mistakes. I've done some things, and I need to say sorry to some people.
Right.
And that opens doors and opportunities. It creates new relationships. Giving an example. If somebody hasn't talked to somebody for 5 years and suddenly they say sorry, then immediately the conversation is taken to the next level, the relationship is taken to the next level.
But you're also prepared also sometimes that when you say sorry and the person doesn't forgive on the other person's part, but you feel better for having apologized anyway.
Absolutely. And if the person that you're saying sorry to doesn't get it the first time, then you just keep trying, keep going for it until they get it and really, really, really feel it, feel the sorry and the sincerity in it.
Okay, so you'd put that under what, relationships, family relationships, that sort of thing. So if you were to look at all these areas and you would say what has been a breakthrough for you in all these, some things could be just going all right, but you know, if there were major breakthroughs, what would it be?
One major breakthrough was, the thing that I mentioned earlier about wanting to do for a decade. I've always wanted to make movies. So, I've since I've been doing the course, I've spoken to the people at BFM. They've said, hey, why don't you make some movies which are BFM related, Malaysia related? And that's something that I would really, really love to do. To go and make the movies and touch people's lives and give people, and empower people, give them a voice to go out and...
And by having that dream to do that, it not only touches your work and career, it also, I guess, touches your intellectual pursuits. So it covers a couple of goals in the process.
Absolutely.
Once you get to the heart of things.
Well, okay, so I want to know, did you go in sort of with any idea of something that you wanted to gain, and did you gain it at the end of that course?
I knew there were some things that I needed to fix, such as the overly logical Alan Khaw that used to be, that always used to overthink things. That was one of the main things that I really wanted to, and of course the heart was the big thing for me, and I felt that I was too comfortable. I didn't take risks, or I would tell myself that I would take risks. I would go and do a marathon and say, yeah, I'm taking a risk, and tell myself, yeah, that's a big risk. But actually, that's not really a risk. That's just doing a marathon, for example. But actually taking the plunge and being brave and taking that risk, I think that was one of the things. I would say perhaps inside I felt very timid, so I had to just become brave.
Right.
Be brave.
Cause Alan, you weren't born here and all that. You were born in you were born in the UK and raised in the UK anyway. Does that make you more open culturally, or we're talking about the Brits here, so they're a little bit more introverted. I mean, I'm sure that also culturally has an impact on your growing up as well. Did you see any of that coming through in doing this course? It really doesn't matter whether you're born in Malaysia or in the UK.
I think especially in Malaysia, and saying the truth or being really frank and honest with people is very, very rare. People are very offended when people are honest. And so when I first came to Malaysia 5-6 years ago, I was too frank, too honest. People would get offended. They'd be like, oh my God, why would you say that to me? And you're hurting my feelings. And so I've had to tone it down in that aspect, definitely. But I think that one of the common things between the UK and Malaysia is that both countries love to complain.
They whinge and they
whinge and complain. Oh, this is not good enough. That's not good enough. And so, what are we going to do about it then? Rather than just complaining, I mean, what can we take out of it?
Right.
This negativity to make it positive.
Okay, so now, with this in mind, right? Now that you've gone through, how do you know that you're able to sustain this? You've done this course, and it's about, there is that initial euphoria of having completed the course. We're on a high, continuation, persistence, sustenance, right? How are we going to do this?
If I forget everything from the course and I need to remember one thing, it will be to focus outwards. In the past, I focused inwards far too much on just me. If there's one thing that I need to take from it, it's focusing outwards. I focus on somebody else focuses on me, and then the goal is achieved.
All right. Anything else, Tasha?
If someone came up to you and, was a bit skeptical about personal development, and, you've seen it for yourself, you've seen that it works in some ways for you, and it might work for them, how would you sort of approach it? How would you tell them? Like, get them interested without laying on that slather of cheese?
The comfort zone is quite a dangerous zone to be in. I'm guilty of being in that zone for many, many years, and there are lots of people who continually are in that zone, wondering where they can go and how stuck they are, and wondering how to get out of it. So just to give it a try. What's the harm? I mean, it may seem like a lot of money initially, but sign up, give it a try, and if you learn something, great. If you don't learn something, well. And
I think you always will learn something if you say, I will learn something.
Absolutely,
right? It is that mindset.
If you go in saying that you're going to learn something, and you will,
right?
Definitely.
If you say I'm not going to learn anything, you're not going to learn anything, right? Because that's just a mind. Thanks for sharing your life with us.
Thank you, Frida. Thanks, Tasha.
Tasha Fasil and Alan Khaw. This is Raise Your Game, BFM 89.9.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. To find more great interviews, go to bfm.my or find us on iTunes. BFM 89.9, the business station.